Welcome to the deep dive.
Oh,
You know that moment when you stare at a blank screen, needing to write a reference letter? One that actually helps someone.
yeah, it feels daunting sometimes.
It really does. So today, we're going to cut through that noise. We want to turn this into a skill you can actually use effectively.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be digging into the art, and maybe the science, of writing a really good email reference. We've got a practical guide and a great real-world example that one of you actually sent in.
Absolutely. And our mission here really is to pull out the most crucial bits of knowledge, give you a shortcut, sort of, to mastering this.
The shortcut sounds good.
Yeah, because you'll see how just a few simple rules about structure can make a huge difference. It can take a letter from just, okay, to something that gives someone a real edge.
Okay, let's unlock this then. Our source material lays out a pretty clear path, 6 basic steps for writing one of these email reference letters. It's maybe more structured than people realize.
Oh, definitely. Structure is really key here. It starts right at the beginning with the greeting.
Right, the dear whoever part.
Exactly. And there are nuances. To whom it may concern, that's your very formal option, usually when you don't know who'll read it.
Okay.
If you have a name, something like Dear Mr. or Mrs. Last Name is semi-formal, works well.
And if you know them?
Then Dear First Name is usually fine. But here's a really critical part, I think. The main body of the email, it has to be exactly 3 paragraphs.
3 paragraphs.
Okay.
And concise. We're talking between 150 and 200 words total.
Wait, 150 to 200 words. For the whole main part, that's incredibly short.
It is. It forces precision. You can't waffle.
So how do those 3 paragraphs manage to, well, pack such a punch in so few words?
Well, each one has a very specific job. The first paragraph, its purpose is just to state why you're writing and how you know the applicant. Simple as that.
Okay, straight to the point. I'm writing because, and I know this person from, exactly. Then the second paragraph, that's where you put the essential details. This is the meat of it. You outline their relevant skills, qualifications. You bring their experience to life, maybe with a specific example if you can.
Got it. Make them sound real.
Right. And finally, the third paragraph. This is where you suggest a positive outcome. You clearly state why you recommend them for this specific job.
So connecting their skills directly to the role.
Precisely. And then you wrap it up. You need a proper sign-off, like yours faithfully, if you started formally, or maybe yours sincerely, followed by your name.
Okay, so clarity, conciseness, impact. That's the formula.
That's the core of it.
And this is where that example you mentioned really helps. It's a formal letter for someone named Richard Seymour, right? Applying for a digital archivist role.
That's the one. And it nails the structure. It's actually 155 words, so it fits right in that tight word count.
Perfect. So how does it show these principles in action?
Well, the writer, Emil Frank, starts by immediately saying he's known Richard for over 20 years. They were basically the first 2 employees at a startup called MySpot Digital way back in 2000.
Wow, okay. So that establishes credibility right away. Long relationship.
Instantly. It shows he really knows Richard's work. Then he dives into Richard's skills.
And it mentioned quite a range, didn't it? Business knowledge, building apps, even chip design.
Yeah, a really broad skill set. But what's clever isn't just lifting skills. It's how he highlights one specific major achievement.
Which was?
Richard designed something called Rocket Mail. And the letter points out this became the industry standard for all email applications.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's not just a skill, that's impact. Big impact.
Exactly. It shows not just what he did, but how significant it was. And then the final paragraph, the recommendation. It's powerful.
What does it say?
Emil states that Richard almost single-handedly invented the position of digital archivist, at least in the context of safely storing digital recordings across, 104 different file types.
Yeah. Single-handedly invented the position.
Yeah.
That's quite a statement.
It is. It's not just saying he's good. It's declaring unique foundational expertise. Really strong.
So, pulling this all together for you listening, the takeaway seems clear. A reference letter that's well-structured, concise, and full of these powerful, specific details. It isn't just, ticking a box.
Not at all.
It's a critical tool. It can genuinely make someone stand out.
Absolutely. Understanding these guidelines, using that structure, and crucially, adding those specific, impactful details like the Rocket Mail example, that's what turns a generic note into a really compelling endorsement. It shows the result of their work, not just the tasks.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? As you consider maybe writing a recommendation for someone or even thinking about your own career, what are those surprising, maybe unique skills or achievements you could highlight? The ones that would make someone truly unforgettable, something to mull over.